Good morning, everyone. This is Patrick at Qdabra, and I'm happy to have you here today for our webinar on extracting images from mobile devices. If you can hear me, please raise your hand. I think we have good audio. We are recording. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so kind of a bunch of different demos for you this morning. I am in Japan. Just got here last week. We have one subsidiary of Qdabra, and that's our Japan office, and it's not really a subsidiary, it's just a separate company, but we have a couple people working here, and I come here once a year to meet with them and meet with customers here. So hopefully the audio is good for you. A couple news tidbits before we get going. Microsoft announced Power Apps availability, I think it was 2 weeks ago. They immediately emailed us after this, asking us to engage. They're ready to talk about how to make Power Apps better. We had talked with them after the big marketing hype in May, which was, I forget the conference that they had going, Ignite or something like that, and they had this lot of information about Power Apps, and it was out. So we looked at it. We did actually, I think we talked about it in webinars, and we spent lots of hours looking at it because we were excited. We thought it was potentially viable, and we quickly found out that it was not. And then we bugged them about it, and they said, "Oh yeah, well, we're not really looking at adding features that you need if you're going to do real forms until later this year, because repeating sections." Data connections, drop-downs that pull from lists, all that stuff wasn't working in May, and apparently it's still not working. So anyway, we are talking with them. We're talking with Greg Lindhorst, who's the senior project manager there, program manager at Microsoft, and they have engaged us, so we're looking forward to giving them some input. But currently, Power Apps, not really a form technology as we know it with InfoPath today. We hope that they will be adding features to it to make it more of an option for you. That's a quick update on that. If you got questions, please feel free to add them. I'll get to them at the end of the webinar. We've got quite a few demos today, and I want to talk a little bit about this technique I'm going to show you. Second news tidbit is we released another version of Forms Viewer yesterday, and it's actually getting pushed out to our European service farm tomorrow, or later this day. And we've been releasing it about every 2 weeks now. We had a big release at the end of August, and Forms Viewer now is people are using it to extend their existing forms. Not only is it the insurance policy against your Microsoft asteroid strike, they stopped supporting InfoPath, but you've also got QRules commands. We have 46 of them now, actually. In one of them we just added sort table, which allows you to sort your table without code. You just have a command, a rule that says sort table. That's working. We've been adding lots and lots of features over the last couple months, but just wanted to quickly do a shout out to Forms Viewer. I'll show you Forms Viewer today as part of the demo. So here I am in Japan, of course, being attacked by the locals here. This is what happens when you I'm not going to say anything political, promise. Today we're talking about extracting images from mobile forms. I've got a mobile demo. I'm going to be showing you my iPhone, hopefully, here through a Lonely Screen, which is the mirroring technology. Why would you want to do this? Well, obviously, you've got forms that have images. You want to take a picture. A lot of customers have processes where they go out and they look at a piece of equipment and they want to perform some service on it. And so they'll take a picture of it and they'll highlight with their finger places that need to be serviced. Or they may be looking at, maybe it's not equipment, maybe it's infrastructure, like a bridge or some kind of like, for example, we have a customer that has fire. They have sprinkler systems that they install in buildings. They actually service the sprinkler systems, and so they'll go out and they'll take a picture of the pipes, basically. So we have this scenario. People are using images in their forms today, and you can use images in InfoPath and mobile devices, and I'll show you that example in a second. One of the reasons why you want to extract the images is so that you can repurpose them, either in a dashboard or, for example, in some other line of business application that's not in your form. So you want to be able to access the image without actually opening the form. That's the first major reason. Also, if your image is extracted and it's attached to an email, it's a little bit easier when you have a mobile device to actually zoom in. If it's embedded in the form that you put in HTML and send via email, it's harder to zoom in when you're driving. You know, obviously you should not be using your phones if you're driving, but some people use them when they're walking, and so it's hard to zoom into an image if it's part of a form. And then finally, the final reason I have is that it's also nice to be able to reduce the load time. Some of these images can be quite large. With the iPhone 6s, which I've got, I think the default's around 3 to 4 megabytes for the default image, and that's a lot of bytes to come down from your SharePoint site. So you typically want to replace that with a link. Okay, so those are 3 reasons why we want to extract images. And here is an image. It is finally autumn in Japan. This is a ginkgo tree about 2 kilometers from where I'm staying. Just amazing, brilliant. I didn't quite capture how brilliant this was because it was kind of towards the end of the day. So you've got lots of types of images. You can have static images in your form. In fact, the form I'm going to show you, this is a really simple form. It's a form that one of our support engineers just threw together. And you can see here that there is actually an image at the top. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a picture. And it's that entire thing at the very top that looks kind of like a folder is actually an image. So that's a static image that exists in this form. In addition, and this is typically, you're going to use static images in your form for logos. You're just going to insert the image in the form. When you do that, you'll definitely want to make sure it's not too large. You don't want your XSN, your InfoPath form template, to have a lot of extra stuff in there if you don't need it, because it just makes it harder to open because it's always going to be in the template. So the other kind of image is a link. So you can have a link to an image, but that requires that the person be online. So the images we're going to talk about today is these last 2, mainly the last one here. We're going to capture an image. I'll show you the form, opening it from the browser first, and choosing an image from my desktop. Once again, the problem with this technique with mobile devices is that you have to actually do something to find the image that you want. So it's not part of that data collection flow. If somebody wants to take a picture of a piece of equipment and circle something and type in some, check some boxes and hit submit, they don't want to have to go searching for an image, because that would require they organize their images from before, and that creates a kind of a discontinuity in their workflow. So we want to try this last one here, and that's what I'm going to show later in a second here, almost to the demo. Another image of fall colors in Japan. This is an incredible, what they call momiji. It's a maple tree here, and obviously lots of beautiful maple trees in Japan at this time of year. So I'm going to do the demo now, and then I'll talk about what I did after I'm done with the demo. So here's the form again. Now I'm going to go to my SharePoint site and show you what this looks like in the designer. I'm sorry, in the filler of the browser. So I've got a SharePoint library. This is 365, and we just published this out just a moment ago. So if I open this form, actually there's an artifact here. I don't know if you see this, but it's not showing the image control quite correctly. But we're just going to ignore that. This is obviously a live demo, so you get quirks like that. We're going to attach this large image, and it's uploading, so it takes a second because it's so large. So there's our large image, and what I'm going to do is just going to scroll down. I've got up to 5 images. You could have more. You could have a repeating section, but for now I'm going to just add 1 at the top, and then I'm going to submit it. And this is just stock InfoPath form submitting to the SharePoint library. Now behind the scenes, we've configured, and you can see I just submitted it here. It's still on the bottom. I've got a process behind the scenes. We've installed our web service accelerator, that Azure Web Service, that takes the XML form and maps it into to SQL to do various things with it. And in this case, what we've done is we've just set up this DBXL settings. DBXL is a database accelerator, and it takes the XML, it takes the info path form, and it allows you to render it as a PDF and extract images and a bunch of other things. And this is what we're using as our tool to do this. It's pretty easy to set up. You just install it in your SharePoint site, and you configure it to your server, and then you tell it which document type you're going to map it to. And then you have to go into the actual tool. Here's the tool, the interface, the web-based interface. We just shipped this latest version about 3 weeks ago. And you click on, let me just go back to the main catalog and show you where this is. So it's a web-based configuration tool, and it allows you to, I've got this form here from the website, and I've added the form, and I can go in and configure it. One of the features we have is the ability to generate PDFs, and this also allows you to extract images. And so you can see that I've got 5 rows here for my images. I'm extracting them. And it's a bit hard-coded, and that's because the form's hard-coded. If it was a repeating section, it would be a little bit simpler. So I'm going to talk more about this in a second, but I just wanted to show you kind of behind the scenes what we're doing, and then I want to show you, I've got my images here. So if I refresh this, the images are being extracted, and hopefully we'll have the 4th image here. The images are extracted, and then they're being synchronized with OneDrive, and then this SharePoint site's actually syncing with the OneDrive site. So that image from my browser form was extracted as part of that process that I just showed you the config for, and saved in a local folder, which was synchronized then to OneDrive, and then this SharePoint library is synchronized with OneDrive 2 to pull it down to show you the form. Now, if I open up the form again, let me just do this from my device actually, and before I do that, let me just show you also there's an email that came in, and you can see here that the email also has the image in it. So as part of that PDF rendering, it's extracting the image as a separate attachment. It's also giving us a PDF which has the image in it, and it's giving us a view of the form when we send it. So, so that's what's happening there. Now let me show you how, I'm going to switch to my other machine and show you the mobile device. We have a form that this form is actually a form that we've uploaded to Formotus, which is a, okay, 1 second here, I'm going to switch machines, and hopefully you'll see my screen. So I've installed this app called Lonely Screen, and I'm going to show you the process of I have to mirror my iPhone here, and it looks like you're seeing it now. Okay, so here's my iPhone. I went to, on my way to Japan, I hit Kauai for a couple days, and so you can see this image in the background of the Bali, I forget how you say it, there's a coast. Bali High, I think is how you say it. But anyways, I'm going to click on Formotus app, and I've installed this form here, and this is the same form that you just saw. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a picture. So I'm going to take a picture of my desk here with my various objects of interest on it, and I'm going to use the picture. And now I can also, with my Formotus app, I can also go in and I can highlight something. So let's highlight the tiger here. That's what we want to talk about here. And then I'm going to just scroll down to this, the same form I have on the SharePoint side. I'm just going to put in my name here so I can send the email to myself. Obviously, I should have made it a little bit easier for myself by filling this in automatically, but we'll just type it in with our swipe here. Not a big deal. Okay, and then hit submit. So hitting submit then is going to, and you see I got Japanese configured on my phone here. Since I'm in Japan, I got to read Japanese, right? Okay, so then the form is gone. Now I'm going to switch back to my my other machine. Just 1 second. And we should see that form come in here. In fact, if I go back to my library, find the right library. Well, let's just see if the image got uploaded. I'll refresh our images library first to see if it got shredded, and if it did, we know that the process worked. And the really cool thing about Formotus is that we can take that InfoPath form as is and just upload it to Formotus, and then with our Formotus account we can use it on our mobile device. And you can see here that all of these images it shows being submitted by Don. Don set up the service synchronize, but you can see here that that image just got submitted here, the one at the end, and there it is. So there's the image I took. So this is pretty cool. And let me just show you one more thing. And that is that, let's say for example that you're using FormsViewer. FormsViewer is our replacement for InfoPath. We're calling it InfoPath 2016. It is very similar to Formotus. It allows you to essentially edit forms in the browser. So unlike Formotus, it's not meant for the mobile devices. Formotus is our partner. We think that's the ultimate solution for the mobile device. But let's say you don't have a mobile device, you just want to use it with the browser. We can also go in and we can edit these forms with FormsViewer. And here's the form I just submitted. And you can configure the library to make FormsViewer the default, or you can use the ribbon to open it. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to open the form, and this form has not been uploaded to the template, so it takes a moment there. But you can see that the form opens in FormsViewer, and we can of course add another picture here and submit it again. So let's do that. Let's just add another picture. Once again, this is the FormsViewer is a little bit different than the InfoPath form services. You can see that. Let's see here. Where are my pictures? We will upload the picture of this guy. I know it's small, so it won't be too much of a burden for the tool. And we'll send this again. And we'll go back to our library, or I'm sorry, our images. Just add it there. And so every time it gets updated, it should be also re-extracting those images, and hopefully there it is. So that's a quick demo. Let's talk again about what it is we did. I'm just switch back to my slides. So to set this up, it really doesn't take a lot of time. You do have to have a tool for extracting the images. Our QRules tool actually allows you to do that, but it is no longer supported in 365 because the sandbox has been discontinued. Now, of course, FormsViewer supports QRules completely. So FormsViewer works in 365, as you saw. If you're extracting images, though, another way to do it is using a back-end piece, which is our DBXL service, and that allows you to do lots of things with that data. One of the things is to extract images from a form and then save them in a local folder and synchronize them, and that's what we're doing. So we just go ahead and create a form library with our form, and the form that we created was this form here. So this form is pretty simple. It's just got one submit on it, and this is the SharePoint library submit. And basically what it does is it's just got a file attachment control. So we're actually just attaching an image. It's a base 64 image control, picture or file attachment. And then we've got a button at the bottom that submits it using that data connection. So it's a fairly simple form. We also have, of course, a notification. We want to send the email to somebody. We put that name in there. It's a very simple form. We upload that form to SharePoint, publish it to a library, and then you you have to actually have the images in the form template, obviously, and you're going to then configure the Excel to extract the images using that PDF configuration tab I showed you. Even though it's PDF mapping, it's actually doing the extraction of the images as well. So you're kind of getting, maybe you don't want PDF, but you can still use the PDF mapping to do that. And then you have to set up, of course, a OneDrive sync, and then the SharePoint library has to be pointed at that OneDrive. So those are kind of the key steps here in setting this up. And that's pretty much it for my demo this morning. Happy to answer any questions you have, or go back to the demo and do it again. Does anyone have any questions? Looks like we don't have any question takers today. Well, I want to thank you for being here, and we'll get this taped and put up on our YouTube channel. We'll send you the sample form and along with the PowerPoint slides if you fill out our 4-question survey at the end. And next week is Thanksgiving, so we probably will not be doing a webinar next week. Hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thanks for being here. Have a great day.